There are 64 large marine ecosystems on this earth. Let's take Africa. Large marine ecosystems are kind of the coastal oceans of each continent. Some of them are currents that go this way or that way. Some of them are what's called upwellings. They come up like this and are very rich. Africa has 7 of these large marine ecosystems, with the Mediterranean being here, and 3 on one side, and actually there's a Red Sea is a large marine ecosystem, and there are 2 here on the east side. When you say West Africa, for example, has an environment convention called the Abidjan Convention, which covers all of this through UNEP. We've found in international waters that a key thing is that countries, as part of the transboundary diagnostic, need to see that they are stakeholders, that they share something, that their future is dependent on their neighbors. What can Mauritania or Senegal share in the Abidjan Convention UNEP Regional Seas program with Namibia? It's too far, nothing. But these natural systems where fish go like this, fish go like this, or can come like this. When you get smaller groups of countries together, it's more manageable. You can actually divide the transboundary concerns into smaller, manageable chunks where each country is a stakeholder. Once you see that there is you have a stake in it, you actually take it seriously. Whereas here, perhaps the countries don't take it so seriously. So we've taken these, there are 64 of these. This is where about 84% of all the fish are caught. So this is hundreds of billions of dollars of export value and food security. They're not caught out here in the middle of the ocean. Fish are caught closer to shore. And this is where all the development is occurring. Remember, it's getting dry, and everyone's moving to the coast everywhere. 50% of the people live at the coast now. So this is where the action is, with pollution from the coast, destruction of the habitat. And remember, you're not going to have the fish unless the wetlands that are at the coast will end up being able to be sustained so they can grow the little fish. The fish don't grow out here. They're the little fish here, and then they move out from the mangroves to here. So this is where the action is. So there's 64 of these around the world. In 1995, we proposed this to the GEF Council as a more manageable way of dealing with pieces of transboundary situations that cross countries, and the Council adopted it. So we actually now have, from 1995 to 2011, 20 of these around the world, representing more than 60% of the catch of the fish in the world, have come to us for GF assistance, for the countries working together, going through these enabling activities. And now in a number of them we have, just like with the Danube, single country projects along with the regional project to deal with their key concerns. In East Asia, those large marine ecosystems, it's pollution. So we have programs with UNDP for the large marine ecosystems, and then a programmatic approach with the World Bank with single country investments to reduce the pollution. Africa, it's a little different. Pollution is not that big of a deal in Africa. The big deal is destruction of the coastal wetlands and fish. So we have single country projects with the World Bank and FAO and WWF in partnership, a programmatic approach, along with the regional UNDP or UNEP project, trying to help do the reforms in the national fisheries law, and helping in some places get people out of fishing, whether it's too much fishing, with alternative livelihoods. With large marine ecosystems, international waters is really about poverty reduction at the coast, securing these blue forests, these wetlands, making fish, providing timber, mangroves for construction, sequestering carbon. I think we'll find in the future that the carbon financing will end up putting money into the mangroves and the salt marshes and the seagrass beds to sequester carbon, just like forests. Per hectare, the mangroves, the seagrass beds, the salt marshes can trap more carbon than tropical forests, than hectare tropical forests. We're putting all our money into tropical forests, And we're forgetting these coastal areas that per hectare can trap more carbon. And these are being lost much faster than the tropical forest. It'd be a shame if they're lost and none left to put carbon financing in. And in addition now, with integrated coastal management, GEF projects in these LMEs are helping countries to reduce their vulnerability to storms and sea level rise. It's dysfunctional to have 4 different GEF focal area projects with the same counterparts on a different theme in an area. If there was one project here in Tanzania dealing with coastal management where all of these issues as part of integrated coastal management, a law on integrated coastal management, support from the different sectors, where the multiple issues can be addressed at the same time. In economic jargon, there are economies of scale if it could be combined for multiple focal area purposes. But more importantly, there are always trade-offs as to whether you develop something or not develop it, if you conserve it or not, if there's a priority or not. So we hope the methodologies that have been developed in international waters can have more visibility, maybe with climate change adaptation projects, maybe with biodiversity projects at the coast that deal with not just park systems but also on the productive landscape. Because integrated coastal management is a key issue, and fisheries for sure key issue for foreign exchange coming to countries as well as food security. Overall, in international waters, for our 20 years of GEF, countries have requested for coastal and marine systems 2/3 of our money that we've spent over time. Only 1/3 have gone to freshwater. It looks like countries understand these pressures at the coast and want to deal with them. So we've spent 2/3 of our $1.3 billion in GEF grants in international waters at the coasts, and close to $5 billion in co-financing for that $800 million. Pretty good ratio as countries now are moving from the initial planning into action.